What if the most beautiful angel fell from grace? How does perfection spiral into chaos? In a once glorious realm, the fiercest storm is brewing within Lucifer, the seal of perfection. Get ready to plunge into this shocking transformation, revealing the devastating secrets hidden in the shadows. Witness how light dims and darkness rises in ways you've never imagined. Are you ready to uncover the chilling truth lurking in the dark? Picture this: a realm drenched in pure light, where beauty reigns and perfection is the only rule. Among a host of radiant angels, one figure stands distinctly apart: Lucifer, with shimmering wings that sparkle like the morning dew. He embodies grace itself, known as the morning star. He is not just admired for his breathtaking beauty, but also revered for his strength and intellect. He leads the angels with a profound purpose, commanding respect from all who surround him. As Lucifer surveys his celestial kingdom, pride swells within him. Day after day, he becomes increasingly enchanted by his own glorious form, captivated by the power of his voice that echoes with authority. But what begins as pure admiration soon morphs into something perilously darker. Subtle whispers of discontent ripple among the angels, concerning murmurs born from their awe and reverence. Relishing the longing glances cast his way, Lucifer luxuriates in this adoration, but it quickly becomes a double-edged sword. What was once heartfelt admiration transforms into a breeding ground for arrogance. Why should I serve the Creator? He muses, as the insidious seeds of rebellion take root in his heart. Confidence fades into hubris, and he starts to believe that he deserves worship, just as he once worshipped. With each passing moment, the tension rises. The Creator gazes upon Lucifer with a mix of love and a foreboding sense of warning. He knows that unbridled perfection can lead to disastrous choices. To Lucifer, however, this is life, the intoxicating thrill of free will, the seductive allure of independence. He believes he can transcend even divine authority. As his thoughts fester, conflict stirs within the heavenly realm. Once a sanctuary of peace, the atmosphere grows heavy with unease. The other angels, sensing their beloved leader diverging from his destined path, exchange worried glances. They know the bright star among them is slipping into the shadows, threatening to envelop them all in an encroaching darkness. In a moment of tragic irony, Lucifer stands tall upon the heavenly throne, his magnificence still draped around him. Yet the light that once bathed him begins to wane as his heart hardens against the very essence of love that nurtured him. He raises his arms, wings unfurling defiantly, ready to challenge ultimate authority. It's a breathtaking sight, tainted by the tragic inevitability of his choice, one that will irrevocably seal his fate. As his once pristine wings, now laced with rebellion, flicker and char, you can feel the pull of his arrogance as he plummets from celestial heights. Each inch closer to the ground serves as a painful reminder of everything he's lost. And then, we see those same wings, now scorched and blackened, falling into the abyss. Once, there was a being whose very essence radiated brilliance. Lucifer, the morning star, captivated everyone who beheld him. He embodied beauty and grace, adorned with divine light, a beacon that commanded the heavens. His voice flowed like a melodic serenade, his presence a symphony resonating through the realms of creation. Loved and adored, he was the favorite among the divine, entrusted with power and beauty beyond imagination. Yet, within this perfection lay a dangerous seed: pride. As Lucifer basked in the glow of his own brilliance, admiration twisted into arrogance. What was once love morphed into envy, a longing not just for celebration, but for supremacy, to rise above even the Creator. Gazing into his reflection, he saw not just beauty, but a promise of greater glory. The whispers of ambition echoed louder, fueled by an insatiable need to outshine all others. What began as a noble dream of elevation spiraled into a consuming desire, a thirst that would lead him down a treacherous path. With each passing moment, his heart grew heavier, burdened by ambition that warped the very essence of who he was. He craved more than his place. He yearned to be the one worshipped above all. This was when the first crack appeared in his flawless exterior. His yearning darkened his shining image, staining it with shadows he couldn't bear to acknowledge. Friends turned into rivals in his mind, and every gesture of admiration became a reminder of what he felt he deserved but didn't possess. Pride, once an elegant trait, transformed into a suffocating cloak of self-destruction. The walls around him, once vibrant with love and admiration, echoed with the silent fury of his discontent. As he surrendered to this darker side, the light around him began to dim. The harder he fought for supremacy, the more isolated he became, ensnared in a web of his own devising, a consuming fire fueled by his unquenchable thirst for more. Ultimately, the weight of his pride became unbearable. In his relentless pursuit of ascendance, he crossed a line that severed his bond with the very light that defined him. The heavens trembled as he challenged his place, and in that moment of rebellion, everything changed. The radiant morning star was cast down, his beauty marred by the very traits that once elevated him. No longer the beloved angel, he became a stark reminder of the fate that befalls greatness when arrogance takes root. As the perfect form tumbled from grace, a haunting image persisted. The morning star, once glorious, now a mere shadow spiraling through the abyss, an echo of his once great majesty, forever lost. In the vast expanse of creation, where light danced with shadows, existed Lucifer, the morning star. He shone with extraordinary brilliance, radiating humility and purpose that filled the celestial realm with warmth. Yet, deep within him, a storm was brewing, an internal conflict fueled by emerging pride. As time flowed, Lucifer realized he was not just a servant. He was a critical architect of wonder. This realization bloomed into an intoxicating pride as angels sought his guidance, praise echoing in his soul. He began to question the cosmic order. Why must I remain in the shadow of another? With every pulse of his light, arrogance crescendoed, drowning out doubt. Lucifer envisioned himself towering above all, the line between admiration and supremacy blurring. Those once by his side became distant memories. Yet beneath this arrogance was a gnawing truth. Perfection was an illusion. Flaws long buried began to surface, each a reminder of his fragility. Alone, gazing into the universe, uncertainty clouded his heart, whispering, "What if I am not as immaculate as I believe?" This question ignited resentment against the laws he had cherished. The brilliance that had raised him now threatened to suffocate. Each crack in his facade revealed a deeper desire for liberation from an unjust hierarchy. In the turmoil between enlightenment and denial, a daring thought emerged. What if he defied creation itself? The spark of rebellion ignited within him, blossoming into the realization that true freedom lay in embracing imperfections, not hiding from them. The path ahead was perilous yet exhilarating. Standing at the edge of a thunderstorm, this moment marked a turning point. As Lucifer surveyed the heavenly expanse, rebellion coiled around him, drawing him away from the comfort of divine order. The allure of defiance promised freedom, and he understood that his fall wouldn't merely signify losing grace. It would birth a transformative journey into the unknown, reshaping heaven and hell, and the essence of existence itself. As he prepared to step away from the light, the canvas of his destiny unfurled, colors swirling, shadows deepening. Beyond that threshold lay both terror and thrill, a promise of self-discovery. The question loomed: was he ready to embrace the chaos that awaited him? In the breathtaking realms of heaven, A striking figure stood at the forefront, his wings shimmering like molten gold. This was Lucifer, the morning star, an angel of such immense beauty and power that even his fellow celestial beings seemed to bask in his light. His charisma was magnetic, drawing others into his orbit as he effortlessly commanded admiration. Yet, as his influence grew, so did an insatiable pride, a sense of superiority that began to erode the harmony around him. He believed he was the most worthy of reverence, daring to challenge the divine balance of power. As he gazed upon the Almighty's throne, an electric energy crackled in the air. Admiration shifted into ambition. Lucifer pondered, "Why obey when I can lead?" A deep-seated hunger for autonomy surged within him. No longer willing to play the role of a mere servant, he rallied a group of loyal followers, those who, like him, felt constrained under the oppressive weight of order. Together, they forged a bond in their shared ideologies, their whispers of rebellion echoing through the clouds. Tension rippled through heaven's once sky-blue fabric. Unity fraying at the seams. Some angels exchanged shocked glances. Others turned away in horror, while a few lingered by Lucifer's side, mesmerized by his audacity. The atmosphere thickened with uncertainty. An unfathomable discord seeped into their sacred realm. Pride transformed into powerful rhetoric that painted a darkly enticing picture of freedom, awakening doubt in the hearts of the once unified. But there lay a peril within this defiance. As angels rallied under Lucifer's banner, heaven's sanctity was put in jeopardy. This was no mere disagreement. It was a coup. The stakes rose, catapulting their peaceful existence into turmoil. With every assembly of supporters, the divide widened, forging a chasm too vast for even the strongest forces to mend. The brewing conflict threatened to spill over the boundaries of their celestial sanctuary, forcing angels to pick sides in an unprecedented rebellion. In the chaos ahead, they would face the true meaning of change, not just for heaven, but for their very identities. The camera pans to a vast expanse of the heavens. As swirling clouds clash and ominous light flickers, the battleground is set, and a decision looms. Will loyalty prevail, or will rebellion shatter their unity? The stage is primed for a war that could redefine everything they ever knew. The time has come. Will you stand for tradition, or embrace the call to revolution? Begin. Lucifer stood at the edge of heaven, surrounded by a vast expanse of light and harmony. But beneath that radiant surface, a dark yearning began to creep into his heart. His wings were magnificent, a symbol of his celestial stature, yet pride twisted within him like an insidious vine. As he watched other angels, loyal and obedient, bow in reverence, a fire ignited inside him. Why should I only follow the light? He thought, the once quiet doubt spiraling into passionate cries for recognition. His ambitions grew louder, drowning out the whispers of caution from his fellow angels. They feared questioning their creator, but not Lucifer. The tension crackled in the air, electric and alive. With his stunning form on display, some angels admired him with awe, captivated by his boldness. Yet, others exchanged uneasy glances. Sensing the fracture spreading through heaven's perfect harmony, some found solace in Lucifer's defiance, while others hesitated, aware that change was looming in a realm where unity reigned supreme. Dark clouds gathered in the skies, a reflection of the turmoil bubbling in the hearts of the divine. Lucifer's pride twisted into a fierce defiance, igniting an unquenchable fire within him. Each time he declared his worth, supportive whispers echoed back, feeding his growing rebellion. I will not be overlooked. I will rise, he proclaimed, the words resonating through the celestial sphere. But as his rebellion surged, so did the stakes. Angels began to assemble around him, forging rifts in their celestial unity. Loyalty to the divine order hung in the balance, and an air of conflict thickened among them. the scent of division pervasive. Little did Lucifer know, this revolution wasn't the assured victory he envisioned. It was a storm brewing, with repercussions that could alter the destiny of heaven itself. The weight of divided loyalties hung heavily in the atmosphere as angels chose sides. Some were drawn to Lucifer's magnetic defiance, while others braced themselves for the inevitable chaos they sensed was coming. The skies, once filled with celestial harmony, now echoed with the clashing of rising tempers and escalating disputes. A question loomed, heavy and ominous. Was this truly the dawn of a new age, or the chaos that would raise heaven to its core? In that pivotal moment, the immaculate facade of heaven began to crack under the weight of pride, as shadows prepared to clash with the light. A battle was imminent, one that would echo through eternity. What would become of those who dared disturb the Creator's order? The answer lay hidden in the tempest now brewing above, as the celestial stage was set for an unprecedented confrontation. Let the conflict begin. In the vast celestial expanse, a powerful whisper begins to stir, an idea destined to shatter reality. Lucifer, the once crowned jewel of heaven, stood at the forefront of this momentous upheaval. His heart burned not just for servitude, but for leadership. As he gazed upon his fellow angels, he sensed their shared yearning for freedom, an urgent desire to break the old chains. Lucifer stepped forward, speaking in a language that resonated deep within their souls. He recognized their brilliance, urging them to abandon their roles as mere pawns in a divine game. Every word he uttered bridged his ambitions with their suppressed dreams, igniting a spark of pride within them. A warm sense of independence washed over the assembly, awakening a long-dormant power. Have you pondered the roots of our hierarchy? He challenged, not with malice, but with fervor. Why are we confined to one vision when we can carve our own path? Each syllable crackled with a newfound resolve, transforming Lucifer from a lone figure into a beacon for change. Word of their growing camaraderie spread rapidly, filling the air with a rallying cry for more than servitude, a challenge to their very essence. Angels, once bound by duty, began to view their wings as symbols of rebellion, unified by one thought: why not reclaim their divinity instead of serving it? High above in heaven, a seismic shift was unfolding. The lines separating order from chaos blurred, giving rise to a new identity among the rebels. Angels invigorated by raw ambition. As the pulse of revolution echoed through the celestial realm, a different light emerged, woven from pride and peril. This marked the dawn of a new era, forever altering them. Surrounded by the glow of their collective will, these angels became warriors, united under Lucifer's banner. As their wings spread wide, a resounding thought echoed in their minds. They were no longer dutiful servants. They were fallen angels poised to rise again. Tension surged, teetering on the brink of an extraordinary clash as they prepared for the unknown ahead. Hearts aflame, they were ready to leap into rebellion, defiance ignited by the quest for freedom. The moment had come. The revolution was imminent, and the celestial realm would never be the same again. In the celestial realm where light thrived and order reigned, a wave of ambition began to ripple among the angels. At the forefront was Lucifer, a figure of charisma and mystery. He wasn't just another angel. He was a beacon for those weary of the rigid hierarchy above them. With each word he spoke, he ignited a fire in their hearts, whispering promises of independence and the chance to carve their own destinies. Why must we conform to the past? He boldly asked, challenging traditions that had shackled them for eons. A palpable energy surged in the atmosphere, hope that spread like wildfire. The other angels, once content within the confines of their radiant lives, began to feel a tide of rebellion wash over them. The weight of conformity grew heavier as they found resonance in Lucifer's vision. United by a shared desire for freedom, they began to rally around him. Each day, More angels joined their ranks, lured not just by Lucifer's magnetic presence, but by a deep-seated yearning for something more, the chance to break free from the bonds of divine order. They felt, in their very souls, that they were destined for greatness. This spark had ignited a powerful movement. No longer were they just individuals. They formed a collective force, a band of brothers and sisters ready to defy all expectations and seize control of their fate. But this was more than mere rebellion. It was about standing tall for their beliefs and honoring the pride instilled in them since creation. Tired of being mere followers, they longed to lead their own destinies. As they banded together, determination sharpened their expressions and fueled their resolve. Every face in this gathering of fallen angels reflected hope and transformation, a burgeoning identity set to challenge the very foundations of their existence. Lucifer stood at the forefront, a blend of confidence and fierce passion, silhouetted against the celestial light. He understood the monumental challenge ahead, yet he was undeterred. His charisma became their fuel, inspiring them to not only rebel, but to reclaim their narrative. As they readied for the confrontation that awaited, the weight of their choices loomed large, a heavy promise and a tumultuous path. Behind Lucifer, the collective murmur of his followers swelled. They were no longer just angels. They transformed into a united rebel army, daring to challenge the established order. And as the camera pans back, revealing a sweeping vista of the legion assembled, their eyes burn with unwavering resolve. The stage is set, and the air crackles with the electric anticipation of the rebellion about to unfold. A new chapter is on the brink of being written, destined to echo through the ages. The moment of truth has arrived, and the fallen angels stand ready, poised to take flight into the unknown. In a realm ruled by silence and conformity, Lucifer emerged as a beacon of defiance. He was the spark igniting a restive flame in a sea of submission. Under a tapestry of shimmering stars, he dared to question not just the rules, but the essence of freedom itself. This wasn't mere rebellion. It was a heartfelt plea for independence. With each thought, he painted a vision of a future unchained, a vision that resonated deep within the hearts of the countless angels who surrounded him. Their wings shimmered with unspoken desires, echoing the longing for choice. As the celestial noise faded into the background, Lucifer began to gather them, not by force, but through the power of hope. "What if we could define our own paths?" he asked, his voice charged with an intensity that electrified the air around them. Slowly, their doubts began to melt away, replaced by a dawning recognition of a profound truth. The right to choose was theirs. This was not merely about following a leader. It was about embracing their own power, reclaiming their individuality in a universe that had sought to stifle it. Their belief in Lucifer grew, morphing into a collective ambition blazing through their spirits like wildfire, forever changing the game. Empowerment stood before them, radiant and fierce. As angels gathered closer, each heartbeat strengthened their resolve. Faces that once bore shadows of uncertainty transformed into a bright tapestry of determination. They were no longer scattered souls. They had become a pivotal force in a growing movement, a living embodiment of free will, their greatest gift. The air buzzed thick with possibility as they united under a banner of courage and self-discovery, ready to become warriors of their own fate. In that defining moment, the energy shifted. Lucifer was no longer just a solitary rebel, but the charismatic architect of an army, their spirits charged with newfound inspiration and purpose. Together, they were more than followers. They were a legion poised to usher in a new era where independence thrived and individuality reigned supreme. As they turned to face an uncertain future, the sun's first rays ignited their determined faces, fanning the flames in their hearts. They were more than a collective. They were a movement, a united spirit ready to conquer the unknown. As the camera slowly pulls back, revealing this radiant army of angels. Their eyes locked forward with unwavering resolve. They take their first step on a path that promises a glorious confrontation of ideals. Together, they were ready to carve out their own destiny. In the grand tapestry of creation, one being shone brighter than all, Lucifer, the morning star, a name that echoed of brilliance, intellect, and strength. Yet, behind this radiant facade, pride brewed like a dark storm. He basked in his uniqueness, effortlessly captivating other angels, drawing them into his orbit. But in that brilliance, a dangerous thought took root. He wasn't just a creation. He was destined to rule. While divine harmonies echoed throughout the cosmos, Lucifer heard only the taunting whispers of his own ambition. Warnings floated from above, softly reverberating like distant thunder, a reminder that true greatness is born from love and humility. But pride has a way of drowning out even the loudest of truths. With an ego that rivaled the heavens, Lucifer dismissed these gentle nudges. Why submit to anyone when he embodied the very essence of light? His ambition blinded him to the unconditional love offered by God, a love that could have lifted him beyond his wildest fears. As he charged headlong into rebellion, he severed the bonds of companionship that could have grounded his soaring spirit, mistaking them for chains meant to bind him. With every act of defiance, the fabric of the universe frayed, dark fissures appearing to beckon him into eternal shadows. Armor made of pride shielded him from wisdom, while isolation became his weapon in a war against the source of his own brilliance. Then came the moment of catastrophic choice. He turned his back on the love that birthed him, committing an act of betrayal that would spark his tragic descent. The light he once embraced flickered, dimming with each heartbeat as he chose pride over connection. With that choice, he plunged from grace into the depths of an infernal abyss. In a heartbeat, the angel who once radiated divine beauty became the harbinger of darkness. His fall wasn't just an individual tragedy. It embodied a harrowing truth. The price of unchecked pride can lead to utter destruction. Vibrant colors faded to bleak shades as he spiraled into eternal despair, where love was forever beyond reach. This was not merely Lucifer's downfall. It served as a timeless warning that pride, when untempered, leads to isolation and ruin. As the camera slowly zooms out, we witness the fallen figure lost in shadows, a poignant reminder of the consequences of forsaking love. What began as a brilliant ascent transformed into a soul-crushing reality, as the morning star, once a beacon of hope, now lay in darkness. With shadows closing in, we prepare to witness the relentless weight of regret, the eternal isolation that comes from choices forged in pride. In his profound loneliness, we see the haunting truth. There lies a heavy cost in rejecting the love that could have saved him. In the boundless expanse of the celestial realm, harmony filled every moment, and one being radiated unmatched brilliance. Lucifer, the morning star. His light enchanted all who beheld him, but deep within shimmered a dark hunger for glory. What began as a humble flicker of pride promised to set him apart, transforming into an insatiable blaze. Each spark echoed divine whispers, cautioning him about the fine line dividing ambition from arrogance. God's gentle yet firm voice urged Lucifer to embrace his place in the cosmos, to celebrate the light that defined him, to bask in love rather than hoard it. But these words fell on deaf ears, drowned out by an overwhelming desire to eclipse his creator. The more he craved acknowledgement, the deeper he sank into the shadows of his own making, blind to the looming warning signs. He rejected the unwavering love of God, convincing himself that he was destined for greater things, a force that rivaled the very fabric of existence. Trapped in a web of pride, Lucifer orchestrated a rebellion, a catastrophic choice, driven by the delusion that he could ascend even higher. In those defining moments, He saw himself as a god among gods, a brilliance bright enough to rival the sun. Yet the cost of his ambition lay buried beneath layers of arrogance. The elegant dance of creation shifted into a fierce struggle for dominion, drowning out all remnants of the love he had dismissed. Yet amid the chaos, a chilling realization began to creep in. The once harmonious symphonies of heaven faded into a dissonant cacophony, and Lucifer recognized the tide turning against him. His wings, those pristine instruments of flight, began to smolder. The radiant glow that had adorned him flickered perilously low. As he grasped for glory, he unwittingly sowed the seeds of his own demise. The heavy weight of truth settled in. He was becoming what he feared most: irrelevant, isolated, and abandoned in his desperate quest for self-glory. As the heavens looked on in horror, his fall became inevitable. Flames engulfed his once radiant wings, transforming them into ash, a haunting reminder of what he had been. The celestial realm that once celebrated him now bore witness to his tragic undoing, a self-destructive journey fueled by pride that diluted the very essence of his being. As he plummeted, the image of his crumbling wings behind him became a stark emblem of his choices, leaving only echoes of the brilliance he once embodied. This was not merely a fall from grace. It was a profound tragedy, a soul severed from love, spiraling into the void of loneliness it had chosen. The smoke of his fall cleared, revealing the sobering reality: pride can blind even the brightest light. What lies ahead for this fallen angel? An arduous path stripped of glory, desperately searching for something to fill the void he has created. In the beginning, Lucifer shone like no other, a breathtaking marvel fashioned from pure love. His brilliance captivated all of creation, but within that radiance flickered the spark of something sinister: pride. He inhaled the adoration, basking in the glow of his own magnificence. It transformed from a simple desire to serve into an insatiable thirst for recognition. He began to believe he deserved more, that greatness was his birthright. As the praises swirled around him, Lucifer withdrew from the divine light that once filled his heart. What began as humility curdled into arrogance. He envisioned a reality where he reigned supreme, a kingdom built on his power alone. This intoxicating self-glorification distorted his perspective, warping his divine purpose into a dangerous fantasy. Instead of kinship with the stars, he felt only envy. They were mere flickers against his brilliance, stoking a fire of resentment deep within his soul. His pride escalated, boiling over until he could no longer tolerate the bonds of submission. Dark thoughts became his allies, and he summoned a legion of followers to conquer the very essence of creation. No longer just about himself, he became a charismatic usurper, promising a false utopia where freedom reigned over servitude. In his desperate grasp for control, he unwittingly sealed his own fate. His rebellion ignited a cosmic fracture, a stark divide between light and darkness that would resonate through eternity. Then came the moment that changed everything: a confrontation with God. With unwavering power, God stood before Lucifer. But in that pivotal moment, darkness clouded Lucifer's judgment. Blinded by ego, he couldn't comprehend the simple truth: no force in existence was greater than the love that once enveloped him. As judgment loomed, the weight of his choices began to crush him. And in a single heartbeat, the angel who once soared closest to the sun spiraled into despair. What followed was a cataclysmic fall, deeper and more harrowing than he ever could have imagined. The once radiant being plummeted into the abyss, losing everything he held dear. In this punishment lay the greatest irony. In a desperate bid to elevate himself, he found only ruin and sorrow. With each inch of his descent, echoes of regret filled the void around him, haunting reminders of spurned love and extinguished light. The name once synonymous with brilliance transformed into a symbol of tragic defeat. As Lucifer descended into darkness, The stark visual of his fall contrasted sharply against the beauty of creation he was leaving behind. This somber transformation serves as a chilling testament to the dire consequences of pride and self-importance. The image of his descent remains etched in the cosmos, a vivid reminder that the quest for power often leads to an unfathomable abyss from which there may be no return. In the very beginning, there was nothing, a silent void. Then, with an explosion of energy and light, the universe was born. Stars ignited, colors ignited, and cosmic dust swirled together to form planets. This moment set the stage for life, a delicate balance of elements intertwined under the watchful gaze of a divine force. As mountains rose and oceans stretched infinitely, the intricate design of life unfolded, delivering beauty with stunning precision. Every heartbeat in nature resonated in a grand symphony of creation, each note a whisper of wonder echoing through existence. But amid this breathtaking spectacle, a moment was looming that would alter the course of history forever. The birth of Jesus marked a pivotal intersection between the divine and humanity. This was more than just the arrival of a teacher or a healer. It was a transformative embrace of love that shattered boundaries and lit a flame of hope in the hearts of humankind. For those who witnessed this miracle, the depth of love and sacrifice radiated like a beacon, illuminating a universe alive with possibility. Yet, even in this celebration of divine love, a shadow was cast. Lucifer, once the brightest of all creations, he stood apart, distanced from the grandeur unfolding around him. Inside, a storm of discontent brewed, fueled by a consuming pride. Why should this divine plan exclude me? He pondered, torn by an insatiable hunger for recognition. As heaven rejoiced, Lucifer's heart hardened, corrupted by a belief that he deserved more than the role of obedient servant in a plan he could not comprehend. In his eyes, the beauty of creation morphed into chains that shackled his spirit. Unable to bear the burden of being secondary to such a grand vision, he wrestled with feelings of injustice. This internal struggle drove him to a fateful decision that would fracture the unity of heaven and unleash chaos upon existence. His rebellion was not just a defiance against authority. It was a direct challenge to the very fabric of creation itself. As the splendor of the cosmos surrounded him, Lucifer looked beyond creation, magnificent yet painfully remote from his desires. With the starlight illuminating his face, he faced the ultimate source of all with a heavy heart and a resolute spirit. This was not merely a cosmic dispute. It heralded the beginning of great consequences, a clash that would resonate through eternity. Now, we transition from the radiant beauty of creation to the darker depths of rebellion, delving into the turmoil that rages within Lucifer, a being forever changed by his choice to stand against the light. The universe awakens with a stunning brilliance, radiating energy that reshapes our very understanding. From the depths of darkness, stars burst into life, fiery suns igniting the cosmos, delicate planets taking shape in a cosmic waltz, and life beginning to bloom in endless forms. This vast expanse is staggering, a masterpiece where beauty and purpose intertwine. Picture yourself amidst this celestial orchestra, the symphony of existence resonating deep within you. All fills your heart, breathtaking and profound, as light spills forth across the void, illuminating what was once shrouded in mystery. Yet, within this divine creation lurks a shadow, a figure who gazes upon the splendor with a heart torn in two. Lucifer, an angel of immense power, gifted with brilliance, is ensnared by his own ambition. As the essence of creation unfolds, he finds himself grappling with the radiant joy surrounding him. The incarnation of Jesus, the ultimate manifestation of love and sacrifice, stands in stark contrast to his growing discontent. For Lucifer, this moment is fraught with tension, where pride begins to weave its treacherous web. While others bask in beauty and harmony, he sees only constraint, a chain binding his desires. In this turning point, the air grows thick with defiance. Lucifer's heart ignites with a dangerous flame, a stark contrast to the incandescent light enveloping him. He cannot accept this divine plan, a plan that threatens to eclipse his perceived glory. Creation trembles on the brink of rebellion, fueled by an insatiable thirst for autonomy and power, obscuring the radiant truth of love and humility. The battle between divine light and encroaching darkness has begun. As the weight of his choice crashes down, a hush blankets the universe. The stakes have never been higher. Will he embrace the light of divinity, or will he plunge into the abyss of rebellion? This moment echoes across the cosmos, a cataclysmic shift that will ripple through time for centuries to come. And as we stand on the edge of this unfolding drama, the consequences of his rebellion loom ahead, creating an electric anticipation, like distant thunder ready to unleash its fury. Let the story unfold. In the beginning, there was only the infinite void, a canvas of potential waiting to be painted. Then, with a single idea, creation erupted in a spectacular display. Stars flared to life, galaxies spiraled into being, and the universe unfurled in a dazzling spectacle. Everything was vibrant and alive, like dawn banishing the night. This was the awe-inspiring moment as the cosmos danced in harmony, its beauty echoing through the silence. Amid this profound stillness came the pivotal moment, the birth of Jesus. Humanity glimpsed the divine, a light filled with love, hope, and the promise of redemption. It was a powerful affirmation that life held purpose, and that every soul mattered. Yet, within this brilliance, a dark shadow began to awaken. Lucifer, once a radiant being of light, lingered at the edge of this new reality, feeling the warmth of the divine glow, but unable to embrace it. The light that inspired so many ignited his rebellion. How could a mere mortal overshadow his magnificence? In fiery defiance, he rejected the new order. His heart, once pure, began to darken with bitterness, like a candle's flame wavering against a gust of wind. As the universe flourished in joy, Lucifer's heart twisted in turmoil. He couldn't bear the thought of losing his throne. What he saw as weakness, others celebrated as a profound gift. The very fabric of creation itself felt the tremors of his unrest. With each passing moment, darkness fueled his rebellion against the light, a beacon that was meant to lift spirits, but now stood as a target for his fury. While chaos and beauty thrived in the universe, Lucifer's inner storm brewed, unnoticed by the vibrant expanse around him. The brilliance of creation illuminated every corner, yet sinister shadows began to weave into its tapestry, heralding a whisper of disobedience. As the cosmic saga unfolded, tension soared. The very pillars of existence trembled under the weight of Lucifer's defiance. An otherworldly clash loomed on the horizon, destined to be defined by struggle and choice. Just as the universe inhaled and expanded, so did the shadow of rebellion, ready to corrupt what was once a magnificent vision of the divine. With a breathtaking view of galaxies stretching into eternity, we witness Lucifer's shadow quietly encroaching, a warning that this battle between light and darkness is just beginning. What will unfold when these two forces collide in a confrontation that could reshape everything? The next chapter is on the brink of revelation, and the stakes have never been higher. Buckle up. In a timeless expanse where light collides with shadow, Lucifer stands apart, a striking figure among the legions of angels. His fiery essence radiates electric energy that commands attention. This moment is significant. It stems from years grappling with heaven's rigid rules. While others bow in reverence, Lucifer ignites with a fiery rebellion, a rebellion long whispered among the celestial court. It isn't born from hatred but from a thirst for power and freedom, fueled by the belief that he deserves admiration, not diminishment. As he watches fellow angels kneel, Their submission weighs on him like a gathering storm. Why should he bow to anyone? Even the Creator? Questions spiral, igniting an inner blaze he can no longer contain. The obedience of others only fuels his defiance, an ambition demanding to erupt. Tension crackles in the air. Each glance deepens his resolve. He feels the universe's gaze. Some watch in admiration, others in fear. But this is his choice, and within that choice lies immense power. He straightens his back, silently proclaiming his self-worth. This is his act of rebellion against an authority he can no longer abide. When the pivotal moment arrives, heavy with anticipation, Lucifer stands poised at the edge of conflict. Whispers of unrest ripple through the ranks of angels. Witnessing his defiance, it transforms from a mere feeling into a direct challenge. His refusal to honor Jesus ignites the crowd like a volcanic eruption, threatening chaos in heaven. Tension peaks as whispers evolve into gasps, and a crushing silence envelops them. Eyes lock, breaths are held. This is the moment that will spark a revolution. Will they cling to the established order, or unite behind the one who dares to defy? There's no turning back now. He stands resolute, marked not just as an individual, but as a challenger to what he once revered. He braces for confrontation, promising to reverberate across the heavens. Surrounded by angels, illuminated by divine lights spotlighting his solitary position, the clash looms closer. This is where loyalty meets self-determination, where divine commands collide with personal freedom. As eternity hangs in the balance, Lucifer is ready to unleash a rebellion, set to ripple across the cosmos and beyond. The camera zooms in on Lucifer's fierce gaze, capturing the intensity as he prepares for the impending confrontation, the moment that will define his fate and the fate of all who dare to challenge heaven's order. In the shimmering expanse of heaven, where light flows like molten gold, an undercurrent of discontent stirs. Lucifer teeters on the edge of a monumental decision, his heart racing with a fierce blend of ambition and doubt. He isn't the chaotic rebel painted by others. He's a deep thinker questioning everything he's ever known. Why should he passively accept the status quo? Why should love equate to servitude? Gazing up at the immaculate sky, he challenges the very divine order that surrounds him. Is this truly all there is? He ponders, the burden of expectation weighing heavy on his soul. This thought, electrifying yet perilous, could lead him down a dark path. Caught in the throes of purpose and the dread of rejection, Lucifer becomes the embodiment of a simmering tension, rebellion wrapped in insatiable curiosity. As he turns his back on the celestial council, the air grows thick with anticipation. Angels exchange glances, their faces etched with disbelief and apprehension. Sensing the impending rupture of their heavenly harmony, whispers ripple through the assembly, laced with uncertainty. What will happen if he dares to defy their ultimate ruler? Could one act of rebellion spell chaos or bring forth transformation? Tension mounts as fingers clasp weapons forged of pure light, poised for action yet hesitant. This isn't merely a struggle of good against evil. It's a clash of beliefs and aspirations, a yearning for something greater. The leaders stand together, not just as guardians of heaven, but as stalwart defenders of their shared ideals. They fear Lucifer's awakening could fracture their celestial realm and unleash their deepest anxieties. In a sudden surge of fiery resolve, Lucifer's eyes blaze with a passion capable of shaking the foundations of existence itself. He steps forward, heart pounding, prepared to face the heavenly host. This confrontation transcends simple rebellion. It's a battle for the soul of creation, a pivotal moment in the grand cosmic struggle. As the other angels gather, a mixture of tension and bravado radiates from them. The weight of this historic moment settles over the assembly. An eerie silence envelops the heavenly realm, pierced only by the sound of wings readied for a clash. Will their unity be strong enough to stifle Lucifer's rebellious spark, Or will it only fuel the flames of his resolve? The screen closes in on Lucifer, eyes ablaze with defiance, standing resolute against the gathered host of heaven. This moment looms like the calm before a storm, with tension crackling in the air, setting the stage for an epic showdown that will reshape their celestial reality. Let the tumult begin. In a realm ruled by shimmering light, one figure stood apart, Lucifer, a symbol of defiance carved from sheer brilliance. Whispers of dissent hung in the air like electricity, igniting a fierce fire in his heart. Once the brightest among angels, his radiant beauty now cast shadows across heaven's grandeur. Tired of the silence that demanded blind obedience, he dared to challenge the very essence of divine authority. The melody of truth surged within him, each note a rallying cry against the relentless command to submit. As he boldly declared his rebellion, the celestial realm trembled with palpable tension. He transformed from an angel into a symbol of change, a seismic shift in an unyielding order. Shocked gasps echoed from his fellow angels, who turned their gazes, bewildered by his audacity. To them, his challenge felt like chaos unraveling a harmonious existence they had embraced for eternity. Yet, beneath their confusion simmered a thrill, a burning curiosity about the meaning of his defiance. Was the price of freedom worth the cost of belonging? Time seemed to freeze, the moment stretching like an exploding star, pulsating with raw energy. As angels closed in, the atmosphere crackled with conflict. Their pristine white wings fluttered, a dazzling flurry colliding with the darkness of Lucifer's bold intentions. They encircled him, their expressions a tumultuous mix of fear, confusion, and a reluctant admiration. In that fleeting instant, Lucifer's fight was more than mere rebellion. It was a battle for his very identity. Would he bow to expectations, or would he stand firm in his truth? With each heartbeat, the air thickened, a pressure cooker on the verge of explosion. Torn between loyalty and uncertainty, the angels felt the weight of their shared history. Raised to honor the order of creation, they stood at the brink of a revolution, sensing the electric pulse of defiance flowing through them. Could they genuinely oppose one of their own? Inescapably, the reality of confrontation loomed. This wasn't solely Lucifer's rebellion. This was a silent war echoing in the hearts of all celestial beings. As they faced each other, the clash of light and defiance painted a dramatic canvas, capturing the moment when bonds would either be forged or shattered. With wings poised for action and minds racing, the angelic host braced for a showdown that would resonate through the ages. The stage was set for a confrontation that could shake the very foundations of existence, where Lucifer's audacious spirit dared to challenge the status quo. Would he emerge triumphant or plunge into the abyss he had created? The answer lay just beyond the shimmering horizon, waiting to be unveiled. The air crackled as Archangel Michael stepped into the resplendent light of the celestial court. His wings unfurled, casting a majestic shadow against the radiance surrounding him, a stark contrast to the figure he faced. Lucifer, the morning star, enshrined in pride. The ground beneath them morphed into a battlefield. Light versus darkness, humility against egotism. Why do you seek the throne of the heavens? Michael's voice rang out, unwavering yet inviting. It was a challenge cloaked in compassion, urging Lucifer to reconsider his perilous ambition. A question hung thick in the air. What does it mean to lead? Lucifer met Michael's gaze with fierce defiance. Once bright, his eyes now reflected the shadows of his pride, a belief that he deserved more than he was given. The stakes were laid bare. Ambition versus selflessness. Michael's light illuminated a profound truth. Strength springs from humility and love. Yet, Lucifer remained resolute. Drunk on ambition, he roared, desperate to drown out reason. Greatness felt tantalizingly close, but each word revealed his isolation. the very pride that severed him from celestial unity. As their confrontation escalated, the cosmic backdrop darkened, swirling with the chaos in Lucifer's heart. Michael's steadfast stance embodied unwavering commitment to a higher truth, a quiet reminder that power lies in love and selfless service. In that dance of light and dark, the profound silence of unconditional love echoed his challenge. Anticipation filled the atmosphere. Every moment weighed on Lucifer, forcing him to confront his beliefs. Would he persist in conflict, or dare to embrace the light? A close-up captured the tumult of emotions on Lucifer's face, anger intertwined with the dawning awareness of his true nature. This pivotal moment heralded a battle of hearts and ideals, with a struggle that would reverberate through eternity. As he clung to ambition, could he hold on without surrendering to darkness? The camera zoomed in on Lucifer's fierce gaze, revealing a storm within, a blend of defiance and flickering awareness threatening to change his destiny. What this revelation would lead to hung in the air, inviting viewers to witness the epic clash of light and dark. In the celestial realms, a fierce battle of hearts and ideals unfolds, shaking the very foundation of existence. On one side stands Archangel Michael, a beacon of courage and unwavering spirit. His mission is clear: to defend love and humility against the encroaching darkness, threatening to blind every being in the cosmos. The stakes are nothing short of monumental as he rallies the realm to embrace a truth that transcends mere ambition. Opposing him is Lucifer, the morning star, whose once radiant brilliance has darkened into a blinding glare of pride and ambition. With every ounce of power he wields, he weaves a seductive web of control, charming all who are vulnerable to his allure. But Lucifer isn't satisfied with mere dominance. He aims to rewrite existence itself, replacing love with cold calculation. His fiery presence sends shivers through the heavens, a chilling reminder of what unchecked ambition can create: brilliance that blinds rather than guides. Yet, Michael stands resolute, challenging this pride with unmatched courage. He boldly exposes the illusion that shrouds ambition's true cost. In his confrontation with Lucifer, he embodies hope and faith, reminding everyone that true strength lies not in power, but in the loving bonds we forge with one another. His fervor resonates with the hearts of the angels, igniting a movement towards understanding and compassion, a powerful counter to Lucifer's tempest of ego. This battlefield is no longer just a clash of swords. It's a clash of ideologies. With every ounce of his conviction, Michael declares that humility is not weakness. It's a profound strength that elevates us all. He draws courage from the connections that bind them, stating that ambition devoid of love becomes a hollow echo, empty promises that lead only to despair and division. In this stunning confrontation, the light Michael commands pierces through Lucifer's dark ambition, illuminating the true nature of their struggle. A palpable tension hangs in the air, as every angel feels that the outcome of this clash could redefine their existence and illuminate a brighter path, one forged in unity and mutual understanding. Beneath the surface, however, as pride swells within Lucifer, an undeniable truth begins to stir, waiting to break free. A tense pause envelops the realm, heavy with the weight of revelation. What secrets will emerge about the very essence of ambition? And as Lucifer's true nature begins to reveal itself, the stakes rise even higher, setting the stage for a confrontation that will challenge their deepest beliefs. What choices will unfold in this moment of reckoning? Will they lead to a new dawn, or shatter the sky above them forever? Prepare for the battle of a lifetime. The air hums with electricity as Archangel Michael stands firm, a radiant beacon slicing through the abyss. His majestic, glowing wings embody the power of humility and unconditional love. Without a shout, his presence commands awe. In stark contrast, Lucifer emerges from the shadows, draped in swirling mists, a haunting embodiment of pride and ambition. His smoldering eyes reveal a fierce hunger for control. As tension thickens, Michael's tranquil strength accentuates Lucifer's restless bravado. Michael, the guardian of the divine, faces the essence of Lucifer's transformation. Their opposing virtues, love versus pride, hang heavily in the air. With poised determination, Michael steps forward, driven not by anger, but by a profound love for all creation. Beneath his calm exterior lies the courage to confront darkness. Lucifer's voice slices through the stillness, slick and serpentine. "You preach love," he sneers, "but love doesn't rule. Ambition does." His laughter, ominous, belittles Michael's principles. Yet, unshaken, Michael stands, his motivation rooted in a dedication to something greater. As their duel intensifies, light clashes against shadow. Each embodies their core beliefs. Michael's gaze, filled with resolve, pierces through the dark. He speaks not of conquest, but of guardianship, reinforcing that true power is rooted in uplifting others. In this moment, we glimpse Michael's truth. Love transforms, while pride leads to isolation. Yet, the yawning chasm of elation and sorrow emerges. Blinded by ambition, Lucifer fails to see the chaos he creates, not out of rebellion, but despair. Beneath his grandeur lies an unworthy fear of being unloved, veiled by thirst for power. As their energies surge, a flicker of doubt crosses Lucifer's features, a moment of introspection. Yet, with renewed rage, he pushes it aside. Michael's light, unyielding and radiant with love, stands in stark contrast to the twisting, ensnared darkness. The confrontation reaches its climax as their true allegiances are revealed. Shadows waltz with brilliance, their impending moves poised to sculpt destinies and reshape existence. What will unfold when the dust settles? As these titanic forces clash and their true natures illuminate, the answer stirs just beyond the horizon of this celestial showdown. The battle begins. The sky above heaven erupts into chaos, a cosmic clash of righteousness and rebellion. Angels cry out, their wings glimmering like molten silver as they battle. Leading the charge is Lucifer, once radiant but now cloaked in darkness, a stark reminder of his fallen glory. His eyes blaze with a fierce longing for freedom, twisting purpose into rebellion. Rallying his followers, he ignites a legion with the belief they can reshape heaven into a realm of self-loyalty. Tension hangs thick as the two sides collide. Winged beings dive through the tumult. Swords clash amidst anguished cries. Each angel fights not just for their realm, but for the soul of creation itself. Every strike fueled by duty. At the center of this storm stands Michael, the archangel, fierce, unwavering, and the embodiment of hope. With ethereal grace, he radiates light, drawing others toward him, a beacon against Lucifer's rebellion. As the battle escalates, a sense of inevitability looms. Fate has chosen its victor. Shadows swirl, whispering temptations in every moment, revealing struggles not merely physical, but deep introspection. The fallen angels echo doubts all face. Does rebellion yield freedom, or merely ruin? Blinded by pride, Lucifer cries defiantly, rallying for a final, desperate push. In that moment of despair, unity surges among the angels. Michael channels their will, a radiant pulse swelling until it bursts through the veneer of rebellion. The decisive moment arrives, a blinding flash of light that dissipates shadows into memories. Lucifer's laughter fades, swallowed by an eerie silence as the light envelops him, stripping pride and ambition away. The dust settles, and chilling cries fade into stillness. The battlefield tells a story of shattered dreams and bittersweet victories. Victorious, the angels gaze at the remnants, expressions heavy with the cost of triumph. Lucifer, once the bright one, now lies defeated, a symbol of pride's harrowing consequences. As silence blankets the sky, the weight of victory lingers in the hearts of the angels. They know this battle was against an external foe and a mirror of their internal wars, constantly balancing light and darkness. The remnants whisper lingering truths. Temptation can never be fully vanquished. Now, they face a future forever altered by scars, some visible, some hidden, each choice shaping a new reality born from glory and despair. But in the depths of their victory, the echoes of temptation whisper differently. Where will the next battle lead? The sky erupted in a clash of legendary wings. Archangel Michael stood tall, his radiant armor a beacon of hope against an encroaching storm. His unwavering gaze embodied countless angels united in their sacred mission to uphold divine order against Lucifer's rebellion. Across the field surged the fallen angel's army, a relentless wave of fury. Once beautiful, Lucifer now cloaked himself in shadows, eyes glinting with malice, promising twisted freedom from divine constraints. His followers, lost in illusion, charged ahead, fueled by betrayal. The clash erupted, harmonies of heaven colliding with the growls of the damned. Fiery swords illuminated the chaos as angelic forces confronted the rebellious. Each swing rang like thunder, echoing the stakes of this celestial showdown, the ultimate battle of good versus evil. Michael led the charge, wielding his sword with fierce precision, reclaiming fallen angels and igniting hope within his ranks. But for every victory, two fell prey to darkness. The battlefield became a haunting tapestry of shattered dreams. Hours passed, pushing both angels and demons to their limits. Michael's heart thundered with the weight of the cosmos. Each clash filled him with fury and sorrow. These were his brothers and sisters deceived, yet he clung to hope, knowing that standing for the light meant reckoning would come. Then came a pivotal moment. With a mighty roar, Michael summoned all his strength, rallying his loyal angels. An electric energy surged, transforming into blinding light that pierced the darkness, illuminating determined faces. It was their chance to push back against Lucifer's shadow. As the battle raged, Michael and Lucifer locked eyes, the weight of their conflict palpable. The battlefield held its breath. Destiny hung in the balance. In a flash, the tide shifted as Michael charged forward, sword gleaming with divine purpose. The atmosphere crackled with energy, hinting at a transformation that would reshape heaven. Desperation flickered in Lucifer's eyes as arrogance crumbled. The shift in the atmosphere brought hope and illumination to their confrontation. At the heart of the storm, everything hinged on this moment, the outcome poised to forever change the universe, setting the stage for a resolution resonating through eternity. What would become of the fallen angel, rejected yet defiant? As the echoes of battle settled, the consequences of his defeat loomed ahead, ready to usher in a new chapter in this timeless saga. And the story was far from over. In the vast cosmos, a storm brews, a tempest of celestial fury. The heavens tremble as two forces collide. On one side is Lucifer, the fallen angel, emboldened by pride, rallying dark wings through the radiant void of heaven. Opposing him, Michael stands as a beacon of conviction. His armor glimmers, drawing loyal angels to his side. Together, they embody hope and resilience in an impending cosmic reckoning. Good versus evil. The battlefield explodes with angels engaging in breathtaking strikes. Michael leads the charge, fearless, racing towards Lucifer. Each clash reverberates with the echoes of faith and betrayal, a struggle mirrored in every soul. Locked in combat, Michael's protective blows strike swiftly, while Lucifer, consumed by ambition, retaliates with cunning ferocity. They are equals in strength, yet divided by purpose. The heavens erupt into chaotic light and shadow, a fierce dance of war. But the tide begins to shift. Angelic light surges, igniting hope. With every strike from Michael, darkness weakens, cracks forming in Lucifer's front. In a moment charged with intensity, Michael channels radiant energy. His sword becomes a blazing beacon, cutting through chaos. With a decisive strike, he sends Lucifer hurtling into oblivion, a fall from grace that will echo through eternity. Darkness's anguished cry reverberates, leaving room for light to flourish. As Lucifer plunges, the focus shifts to Michael, standing resolutely amidst chaos. His expression carries the weight of victory, yet uncertainty lingers, a reminder of the complexities faced. His glowing sword, a relic of hope, stands firm amid the aftermath. Yet, silence envelops the scene, heralding the cost of triumph. Shadows of loss linger, striking a poignant chord in this epic tale. As echoes of defeat dissolve into the void, the camera lingers on Michael's hardened face, a guardian now burdened by grief. The realm quivers, uncertain of what other darkness lurks in the shadows. And in that silence, one question looms. Is this truly the end, or merely the beginning of a far greater battle? In a realm once vibrant and filled with harmony, a shadow fell over the hearts of its brightest beings. Lucifer, the most radiant of angels, stood proudly by the throne, a symbol of light and grace. But deep within, an unsettling echo stirred, an insatiable yearning for freedom, a desire to defy the status quo. With every rebellious thought, despair clawed at his spirit. The unsettling truth that his brilliance could be suppressed ignited a fire of rebellion he could no longer suppress. As whispers grew into a storm of conviction, Lucifer gathered those who shared his feelings. Once revered paragons of virtue, his followers began to question the very principles that had anchored them. The joyful laughter that once bound them faded into a solemn understanding of their shared plight. They were no longer satisfied with servitude. The chains of obedience now felt painfully heavy. Together, they formed a bond forged in disappointment, driven by a fierce determination to reclaim what was theirs: freedom. With each passing moment, the light around them began to dwindle. The beauty of their existence started to decay, fracturing like shattered glass. Standing at the crossroads of their fate, a potent mixture of regret and newfound resolve surged within them. The once glorious angels, with their shimmering wings, now dimmed, transformed not just by their actions, but by the relentless ambition flowing through their veins. Their essence darkened, each shift feeding the growing void within. What began as rebellion evolved into transformation, unyielding and absolute. The atmosphere surged with an electric energy as the outlines of darkening figures took form. Once the guardians of humanity, they became twisted reflections of their former selves, trading halos for horns and grace for malevolence. In that pivotal moment, a sinister resolve solidified among them. Their mission was unmistakable: to dive into the depths of humanity's despair, corrupting hearts and sowing seeds of chaos. This was their new purpose: to unleash darkness, feeding the insatiable hunger for power that once thrived within the light. As they descended towards the world below, a dark cloud draped itself over the earth, a chilling symbol of their malevolence. With each beat of their corrupted wings, they whispered doubt and fear into the hearts of mortals. Humanity was about to feel the weight of the despair that their former protectors now brought. And as the first echoes of anguish filled the void, we brace ourselves for the encroaching shadows. This was only the beginning. As the celestial gates crashed shut behind them, an eerie silence enveloped the once majestic assembly of angelic beings. The air, thick with betrayal, quivered around Lucifer and his followers. They had once possessed dazzling beauty, their wings shimmering like stars, their voices a harmonious echo of heaven itself. But now, those same wings were cloaked in darkness, feathers wilted and smoky, reflecting their deep despair. Banished from paradise, they fell into the abyss, both terrified and defiant. In that void, the seeds of transformation were sown. The initial shock began to fade, replaced by an intense anger surging through Lucifer's heart. The weight of his loss wrapped around him like a shroud, but beneath that heaviness burned an ember of defiance. Once a beacon of light, he now resolved to harness the shadows born from his sorrow. He looked to his comrades, fallen angels turned demons, their features twisted yet ignited with a newfound purpose. They were no longer embodiments of grace, fierce new beings, reborn in the fires of resentment. With each beat of their tainted hearts, their mission crystallized. The pain of rejection transformed into unwavering determination. No longer merely suffering, they envisioned a world where humanity would share in their despair. It was a rallying cry echoing through the void. Their thirst for revenge grew. They would corrupt the innocence they once cherished. As they stepped into this dark existence, their intentions morphed from mere sorrow into a sinister ambition, driven by the desire to ruin what had been unjustly taken from them. The cosmos, once a canvas of light and joy, now became their playground of mischief. They delighted in the prospect of crafting temptations, leading humanity into moral darkness, pouring their wrath into the hearts of men, and twisting innocence into vice. Lucifer stood at the forefront, a tempest of sorrow and seduction swirling within him, as he gazed into the darkness with the fervor of a blazing sun. With each flicker of his newly formed wings, they felt a dark momentum building, a sinister pulse, ready to shake the very foundations of existence. Their laughter echoed hauntingly as they embraced this new reality. This was not just the aftermath of their fall. It was a beginning, a campaign draped in shadows, destined to stretch across generations. Humanity, blissfully unaware, teetered on the edge of a precipice, blind to the storm gathering just beyond their sight. The chilling vision of what was to come began to take shape, setting the stage for an insidious adventure that would forever alter the fabric of free will. As their wicked plans loomed closer, the very shadows seemed to whisper, urging humanity to forsake the light and embrace the dark. And so, the time had come. Their insidious journey awaited, beginning now. The air crackled with tension as Lucifer and his followers fell from the heights of heaven, their once radiant glory fading into a distant memory. In an instant, the warmth of divine light was replaced by the chilling grip of darkness. But instead of succumbing to despair, a fierce spark ignited within Lucifer's heart, a blend of defiance and determination. They plummeted through the abyss, each moment echoing the sound of their rebellion. When they landed in the depths of desolation, everything shifted. Their once pure wings darkened and twisted, transforming into shadows eager to spread chaos. The beauty of heaven was replaced by a chaotic landscape, a harbinger of the wickedness yet to come. The air thickened with a haunting mantra, the need to rise, to dominate, to do better. In that moment of despair, the abyss whispered sweet temptations of revenge against the Creator. Lucifer's eyes burned not with sorrow, but with wicked resolve. If we cannot ascend, we will pull the world below us into chaos, he vowed silently, uniting with his followers in their shared loss of heaven. History would remember them not as fallen angels, but as architects of corruption, bound by grim resolve. The ground beneath them groaned, aware of their dark ambition. Clenching their fists, they pledged that humanity, the fragile beings destined to inherit the earth, would not escape unscathed. From this moment on, their mission became undeniable: to weave deception, sow despair, and twist human ambition into a dark reflection of its true potential. They were not just launching a campaign of chaos. They would thrive in it. With each soul they corrupted, their power would swell, drowning out the cries of the innocent with their laughter. A dark cloud began to cloak the world above, blocking out the light and signaling the onset of a terrifying era. Unaware of the storm brewing, Humanity stood on the brink of darkness. As despair inched closer, the unspeakable began to unfold. Lucifer and his fallen followers were only getting started. The stage was set, and shadows loomed large. One question remained lingering in the air. Can humanity withstand the relentless tide of their corruption? In the heart of the mythical Garden of Eden, innocence reigned. Vibrant flowers bloomed among tranquil landscapes, a symbol of humanity's perfect beginning. They possessed everything except the knowledge of good and evil. Yet, a sinister figure lurked, the serpent, cloaked in shadows, emerging to exploit their curiosity. "Eat from this apple," it hissed, its scales glimmering, "and you shall be like God." With Eve's first bite, history rippled with consequence. The sweetness concealed a bitter truth. Knowledge led to ruin and chaos. The fallout was swift. Adam and Eve were cast out, stripped of their innocence, thrust into a harsh world where pleasure mingled with pain. This tale, rooted in antiquity, reflects humanity's perpetual struggle against temptation. Can we resist the seductive allure of the unattainable? Or do we, like our ancestors, tumble into the abyss of our desires? Now, fast forward to another pivotal moment, a desolate wilderness filled with trials, where our Savior, Jesus, stands alone, hungry and vulnerable. After 40 days of fasting, at his weakest, the same deceitful voice reemerges, echoing the serpent's offer. "Turn these stones into bread. Prove your power." Each temptation tests his unwavering commitment and resilience. Yet, armed with scripture, Jesus deflects the enticements, embodying the strength to liberate us from our darkest inclinations. This timeless struggle against temptation reveals an unsettling reality that haunts humanity, shadows that cling to our very existence. While we celebrate moments of faith, the specter of temptation lingers, eager to exploit our vulnerabilities. As we reflect on these stories, the apple symbolizing humanity's first downfall and the insidious whispers that shake our foundations, we must ask, are we puppets in a grand narrative, or do we wield the power to resist? The allure remains potent, the apple gleaming under soft light, promising new delights. What lies ahead for those bold enough to indulge in the sweetness of sin? The saga continues. Will we rise against temptation, or will we, too, take a bite? The story of temptation stretches back to the dawn of humanity, rooted in a lush, serene garden, a moment where curiosity entwined with chaos. When Eve reached for that forbidden fruit, the apple shimmered like a beacon, representing both everything to gain and everything to lose. What began as a simple act of desire spiraled into an intricate web of manipulation, setting the stage for the complex struggle within human nature. From that very moment, temptation transformed into an unyielding presence in our lives, a constant itch that digs deep into the fabric of our existence. Think about it. Every day, we face choices that challenge our morals, leading us into the shadows. This isn't just ancient folklore. It's a daily reality for everyone. The lure of wealth, power, or a fleeting moment of satisfaction creates a tangled web of moral dilemmas that ensnares everyone. Whether you're a world leader or an everyday individual, imagine temptation as a puppeteer, its invisible strings pulling the masses into moral chaos. History is filled with examples of people seduced by their desires, leaders whose insatiable hunger for power left devastation in their wake, celebrities who chased fleeting fame at the cost of their identities. In the background, the figure of darkness remains, planting seeds of doubt, driving wedges between allies, exposing our vulnerabilities. As we navigate our modern lives, it's vital to understand that temptation takes many forms. A career opportunity that tests our ethics, a moment of betrayal that promises instant gratification, Each echo from history reveals a startling truth. We are not so detached from that ancient garden. The stakes remain high, and the consequences are still dire. Behind every world-altering decision lies that shadowy figure, always present, always tempting. The darker the offer, the easier it becomes to ignore the true cost of our choices. Are we really so different from Eve, reaching for what we believe will fill that void? Or are we entranced by the deceptive sweetness of lies? As we dive deeper into this tale, prepare to peel back the layers of manipulation. Picture a shadowy figure lurking in the corners of our minds, whispering seductive promises while concealing the price. What occurs when these whispers ensnare their most vulnerable targets? The next chapter opens the door to a sinister game, a game we may not even recognize we are playing. What binds us to the very apple we were warned about? The journey is just beginning. In the dim light of the Garden of Eden, where innocence once flourished, a chilling whisper slithered through the leaves, the seductive charm of temptation, personified as the serpent, a fallen angel once shining bright in heaven. Eat, and you shall be like gods, it hissed, enticing Adam and Eve with promises of knowledge and untold freedom. One bite shattered their blissful ignorance, plunging humanity into a world of pain and anguish. The apple, glistening with the facade of forbidden fruit, radiated allure while concealing impending darkness. As Eve reached for it, a shadow loomed, eagerly anticipating mankind's downfall. That fateful bite ruptured paradise, unleashing sin, shame, and despair, marking humanity's tragic fall from grace. Fast forward to Job, a man of unwavering faith facing unimaginable suffering at the hands of Satan, who sneered, "Take everything from him," and watch his loyalty shatter. This cruel test of faith revealed Satan as a palpable force, relishing the suffering inflicted, showcasing the depths of his influence on human existence. In a critical encounter, Jesus, the Son of God, faced his own temptation in the wilderness. Alone and vulnerable, he stood resolute against Satan's advances, each offer more enticing than the last. "Turn these stones into bread," urged the tempter, promising immediate satisfaction. "Bow to me, and the kingdoms will be yours," he proclaimed, dangling power like bait. But unlike Adam and Eve, Jesus stood firm, declaring life is about more than survival. His rejection not only affirmed loyalty to God, but also established him as humanity's shield against despair. These pivotal moments reveal how Satan threads through the fabric of human history, his influence cloaked in seemingly harmless temptations that lead to devastating consequences. The unsettling truth of his existence looms larger, igniting a struggle that persists today, emphasizing the dangers of temptation and the urgent need for vigilance. The episode closes with a haunting image: an apple, half eaten, resting on the damp earth of Eden, a somber symbol of lost innocence and the shadows that followed. What does this truly signify for humanity? How far have we fallen? And is redemption possible? As we ponder these questions, the battle between light and darkness rages on, demanding our courage and resolve. In the shadowed corners of the universe, a figure looms, once a beacon of hope, now a haunting reminder of unchecked ambition and its dire consequences. This is the story of Satan's downfall, a remarkable journey marred by rebellion and corruption. He began as a trusted advisor in the celestial realm, yet succumbed to the seductive whispers of pride, overestimating his power while grossly underestimating the divine. With every insidious thought, he planted seeds of discord, twisting the beauty of creation into a grotesque reflection of its original form. What was meant to be a harmonious symphony began to splinter, cracking under the weight of his disdain. The universe became a battleground, not one of swords and shields, but a fierce clash of wills among celestial beings. As the archangel Michael rallied his forces to oppose him, prideful arguments escalated into a brutal conflict. In this chaos, the once venerated light bearer plummeted from grace, spiraling through the cosmos like a meteor falling into an abyss. His rebellion wasn't just a series of actions. It had woven chaos into the very fabric of existence, unleashing turmoil upon Earth that reverberates into our present reality. Now doomed to wander, Satan thrives on sowing seeds of doubt and despair among humanity, whispering sinister lies that fracture trust and ignite hatred. His influence seeps into our society, leaving scars of division and violence, glaring evidence of a fallen being's desperate grasp on power. We witness this struggle in grief-stricken news headlines, in cities torn apart by conflict, and in hearts hardened by betrayal. The toll is a vivid reflection of an impending darkness, a world seemingly lost beneath evil's oppressive grip. But this descent isn't without consequence. The book of Revelation reveals his ultimate fate, a chilling promise of reckoning. A day of judgment awaits when all deception will be unveiled. In the final battle for the soul of creation, he will be cast into an eternal darkness, forever separated from the divine light he once sought to conquer. His blinded ambition now leads him to an existence devoid of love and hope. As we confront the chilling outcome of his reign of corruption, we are beckoned to shift our focus to what remains. Our world, shaped by struggle, yearns for redemption. The battle isn't lost yet, but the shadow of his influence still lingers in our lives. Can we break this relentless cycle? Will the integrity of creation rise against the tide of corruption? Join us as we delve deeper into a world further tainted by darkness, an unsettling vision that foreshadows the impending moment of reckoning, the final separation that looms just out of sight. This is just the beginning. Together, we will uncover the paths that lead us either towards salvation or into greater despair. As darkness descended upon the world, an unsettling silence enveloped everything. From the shadows, a figure emerged, Satan, cloaked in a deceptive belief that he could corrupt all of creation. His malevolent influence seeped into the hearts of mankind, igniting greed, hatred, and despair. Innocence was reduced to ashes, friendships lay shattered, and trust was eroded, replaced by a pervasive fear. It felt as if an invisible weight bore down on the very fabric of existence. He relished in his destruction, convinced that he had outsmarted the divine order. But in that moment of triumph, arrogance clouded his vision, and he failed to recognize the cracks forming beneath his feet. Creation, once vibrant and thriving, lay twisted and fractured, but the natural order was never destined to break forever. With each vile act that he inspired, his isolation deepened. No longer just a force of evil, he became the embodiment of separation. Those ensnared by his darkness felt a growing distance, not just from one another, but from their very essence. It was as if a chasm opened between them and the divine. Their existence was marked by insatiable chaos, an existence he had crafted but would ultimately trap him within. Yet, in the depths of despair, a whisper of hope began to stir. A flicker of light pierced through the oppressive gloom, a relentless reminder that darkness cannot have the final word. Every act of defiance sparked a resistance among humankind, igniting unity and purpose in the hearts of those yearning for restoration. As the tide of hope swelled, it became clear evil's reign could not last. Then, the moment arrived. The clash between light and darkness erupted. As the dust of war began to settle, a truth emerged. Satan, unmasked and stripped of his power, could no longer hold creation in his grip. His once shattered influence echoed a desperate wail, recognizing the inevitability of his fate. His ultimate defeat was not just imminent, it was irreversible. Banished from the presence of God, he stood alone, crushed under the weight of his own choices. This eternal separation was not merely a punishment. It was the consequence of his relentless pursuit of destruction. It was a monumental moment, painful yet liberating. The world, once tainted by his influence, was now poised for rebirth. As the battlefield fell silent, a new dawn broke. Hues of soft light stretched across the horizon, not just signaling an end, but heralding the arrival of a new era of peace and purity. In that moment, humanity could breathe once more, reclaiming the beauty that was always meant to be. In the beginning, there was light, a world bursting with beauty and harmony, where every element existed in perfect balance. But beneath that serene surface, an unsettling potential for disruption quietly awaited. Among these celestial beings, one shone brighter than the rest: Satan. At first, he radiated ambition and confidence, his brilliance drawing others in like moths to a flame. Yet, beneath that captivating exterior lay an insatiable hunger for more power, more recognition. He began to see himself not just as a servant of God, but as an equal, perhaps even superior. As his thoughts spiraled into darker realms, danger seeped into the cosmos. The very fabric of creation began to tremble beneath the weight of his desires. The more he indulged in pride, the further he strayed from the essence of goodness. Innocent aspirations twisted into a venomous ambition, tightening its grip around his heart while whispering seductive promises of supremacy. The once admired being now drifted deeper into shadows, entranced by his own reflection, as the light around him flickered ominously. Suddenly, the scene shifted. Creation morphed into a canvas tainted by his ambition. This newfound darkness didn't just consume him, it warped everything it encountered. Friendships shattered, loyalties fractured, and a once harmonious chorus of beings was drowned out by echoes of dissent. The universe, once vibrant with trust and love, became streaked with shades of suspicion and fear, reminding us that evil doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it whispers softly, cloaked in alluring promises and deceptive half-truths. The tension mounted. Every step Satan took in his rebellion against God didn't just lead him toward power. It pulled him further away from the very source of his existence. Ironically, as he rose, he sank deeper into a chasm of isolation, a cruel irony of corruption. Those who once gazed upon him with admiration now looked back with pity and horror, witnessing not the rise of a new authority, but the tragic descent of a once noble spirit into despair. And so, the stage was set for an inevitable clash. A foreboding reckoning loomed large, casting a long shadow over the cosmos. Each of his choices edged him closer to his own demise, an eternal separation from the light he once radiated. This dark tale is not just about one being's fall. It reflects how corruption can consume everything it touches. As the camera pulls back to reveal the vast universe, now marred by darkness, the contrast is stark. The flickering light hints at the chaos to come. With every heartbeat, the tension amplifies, leaving viewers pondering. How far can one soul fall before it's too late? This fleeting darkness signals the impending storm, a conflict poised to unleash the true consequences of a corrupted quest for power. Watching Lucifer's fall is a powerful reminder that ambition can really lead us down some unexpected paths. We've all felt that thrill when we achieve something big, and it's awesome when the people around us celebrate our wins. But just like Lucifer discovered too late, that feeling can quickly turn into something that leaves us feeling alone and trapped. It hits close to home. It's so easy to lose sight of what really matters when we're chasing after recognition and success. Our relationships can suffer, and we might forget who we really are while chasing after things that don't bring us true happiness. So, as we go about our lives, let's keep in mind that it's important to find a balance between reaching for our dreams and staying connected to the people we love. There's a crucial lesson in this story. To rise, we need to stay rooted in love and humility so we don't forget where we really belong. If you've ever felt the weight of ambition pulling you in unexpected directions, I'd love for you to share your experience in the comments. How do you balance your dreams with the connections that truly matter? And if this resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need this reminder, and subscribe for more heartfelt conversations. Trust me, in the next video, we'll dive into how we can keep our passions ignited while staying grounded in the love and connections that fill our lives with joy.